A contending team. This looks like the batting order for the 2020 Boston Red Sox. Andrew Benintendi batting leadoff. Rafael Devers batting second. And I got this from a beat writer from Boston. Xander Bogaerts batting third. J.D. Martinez batting fourth. Mitch Moreland batting fifth. Michael Chavis batting sixth. Verdugo seventh. Christian Bradley Vasquez eighth. And Jackie Bradley ninth. Okay? It's not a bad team. And now you pitching staff, Chris Sale, he looks fine in Fort Myers, but has an ugly recent health history. All right, so look, Chris Sale healthy, pretty good. Eduardo Rodriguez, who went about 140 innings in 2018 to 203 in sort of a breakout in 2019. So they got two good pitchers. Nate Eovaldi, injured all last year. They got free agent addition Martin Perez, whose peripherals were great last year in Minnesota, but he still had a 5 ERA in the American League Central. The Boston team absolutely is not going to be a tanking team. The bullpen, the peripherals in the bullpen were a lot better than 31 blown saves would have you believe, okay? The 2019 Red Sox lost 9 games that they led at the start of the 8th inning, and 7 that were tied to the start in the 9th inning. So of the 16 losses, to include a blown save, 6 were to the Rays and the Yankees. So you spin those numbers around, you get a little lucky this year. And I got to tell you something, don't count out the Red Sox. You got that? Let's not count out those Boston Red Sox. Now, what does this mean? See, the Red Sox actually got, I mean, if this guy Jeter Downs is any good and the catcher that they got, and if the players that the Red Sox got and the prospect names are pretty good, okay, then trading Mookie Betts, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do for the Red Sox. And now if you're Chris Antonetti, okay, he got a lesson on what the Indians should consider in trading for Francisco Lindor. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, but now he's got to raise the bar because they did a pretty good deal. They got, Jeter becomes their top prospect now, okay? So no general manager who's new wants his first big trade to be remembered for sending out the best players somewhere else because of money concerns. And that's exactly where Bloom, Chaim Bloom, who left the Rays to replace departed Dave Dombrowski, that's where he found himself, okay? So it was really hard for them to make the deal. But now that we really have to take a look, Lindor won't be a free agent until after 2021. And it's clear he'll be playing for the team after 2021, probably sooner. Antonetti said several times the Indians could ride Lindor into free agency, make a qualifying offer, collect a high pick when he signs with another team, or, and this is now becoming more likely, I am told, or they could trade him any time before the July 31st deadline, they could trade him next off season. They could start the whole thing over. But now it's becomes more likely that Lindor could be traded. Okay? They could get a solid, even more solid. Okay? Then, they got Verdugo. They got Jeter Downs. They got this kid Wong. He profiles as a backup catcher. Okay? But we'll see what happens. Okay? See what happens. Now, there's a relief pitching. I've always taken the position that in the auction format, I will not spend money on closers. That we all know. But that's the auction format. I always like to take pitchers who could become closers. They could become closers. So one of the pitchers that I'm taking, and of course in the snake draft, I'll take a closer who, when I look at the unpicked players pool and I realize there's nobody there that's really special, if you know what I'm saying. Nobody there is really special. Okay? And Arnie is here. Good morning to Arnie. If you'd like to come on after this, be my guest, man. Arnie is here, the great Arnie. Nice to have you aboard, kiddo. Anyway, but I'm back today. Oh, yeah, that's right. Arnie's coming back right after the show. Yesterday, a fiasco. Almost like the Mookie Betts trade, right, Arnie? So there you go. But here's a player that you got to pay attention to. Brandon Morrow, okay? He is not ready to stop trying to be the closer for the Cubs. He's had so many elbow injuries, but it hasn't discouraged from Brandon Morrow from making his latest comeback attempt with the Cubs on a minor league contract. So watch him, okay? His optimism comes from the strength and resiliency in his right elbow 5 months after some famous orthopedic surgeon performed ulnar nerve decompression surgery. Didn't I say that yesterday? Ulnar nerve decompression surgery. Has anybody ever had that? The doctor, the orthopedic surgeon, told Morrow after the surgery on the elbow, do not walk on it for 2 months. So with that, kind of prognosis and, that kind of diagnosis and everything, is anybody paying attention? I just want to see if anybody was listening. Elbow surgery. Doctor says don't walk on it for 2 months. I didn't see a giggle. I didn't see a laugh. I didn't see an FU. I didn't see nothing in there. Okay? So anyway, Brandon Morrow, keep an eye on him. He's 35. He's scheduled to throw his 5th bullpen session this week. He's on a conservative schedule. Okay? He's cautiously optimistic that he could be ready for opening day. So I would throw $1. I'd throw that dollar on Brandon Morrow. Okay? I have a feeling that on a team like the Cubs, we'll see what happens. Taijuan Walker, like I mentioned, pitched in front of the Cubs officials. He's only pitched once since 2018. That was in April. He had Tommy John surgery. He was one of the Mariners' top pitching prospects. Won 11 games in 2000, I'm guessing 16 or 15. And then they traded him to the Diamondbacks. He struck out 146 in 157 innings for the Diamondbacks last year. So there you go. Okay, so that takes care of that. Taijuan Walker is a player that and I'll talk about Seattle, as I mentioned, has an open contract for Taijuan Walker. One of the questions that has been asked to me so many times is this: who will be the Cleveland Indians' 3 starting outfielders? Franmil Reyes turns out to be such a pleasant surprise. He'll hit 40 homers, and he may win. I'm predicting, even though Steamer says that it's going to be Giancarlo Stanton to hit the most home runs in the American League, I'm saying it's going to be Franmil Reyes. Etch that in your kitchen table, and I backed up what I said by taking him in our draft. Okay, I backed it up. I took him in our draft. Okay, George says, step on the stone. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, Michael Diaz on the Mets has been discussed. Yeah, we had him. There's a lot of confidence in Diaz, with the most confidence coming from him. He admitted a lot of. Look, Eloy Jimenez leads the American League of home runs. Yep, that's right. I say Eloy will be a top 3 player in the American League. That's why I draft him. And here's the thing: if you do a radio show, and you're touting Eloy Jimenez, or if you're touting Edwin Diaz, or if you're any player, and you don't make an honest effort to go out and get, I'm not saying you're going to get every player, but if you don't make an honest effort to get that player, then your show is worth bulldinky and poppycock. It's as simple as that. So yes, I got Franmil Reyes. Okay. Okay. George says he thinks that Sano could hit 50 home runs this year. I mean, yeah. And that, hey, look, he could. I think he's going to have problems defensively. Okay? That's my opinion. All right, so Franmil Reyes is one outfielder. Delino DeShields. He runs down everything in sight in center field. And I think defensively they're going to need him to play center field. Oscar Mercado plays all three spots. He's got tremendous ability to play any spot in the outfield. Jordan Luplow and Domingo Santana. Now, Santana hasn't officially signed with Cleveland yet, okay? But he's on the verge. They're doing physicals and mentals, and you know what? Sometimes these teams, they're so bad at evaluating players that they're trading for. One of the things they make them do is color, and if he stays within the lines, they'll sign him. That's what happens. Jake Bowers, okay, will probably be the left-handed bat off the bench, and that's only because of the newly 26th roster spot. Okay, though now it could be Reyes' only downfall is he's a liability in left and right field. He could settle in as the DH. DeShields could play center field. Mercado could play right field or left field. Luplow, Tyler Naquin. So anyway, that's I think Reyes will be adequate in right field. They'll have somebody replacing him in the ninth inning. Luplow and Mercado. That's what it looks for. If Domingo Santana, he'll be confined to the DH. He made 12 errors in the outfield last year in Seattle. Okay? As far as, yeah, so that's what I like over there. Okay. Let's get to the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners of Seattle, our team of the day. So let's get right to them. Now, the over-under for the Seattle Mariners, 67.5. I'll probably go with under. Under 67.5. The Mariners will have 17 of their top 30 prospects in Major League Camp. Kyle Lewis, and I think Kyle Lewis is going to be tremendous if he can stay healthy. When we saw him in the Arizona Fall League, Kyle Lewis just really impressed me. Long Beach, California on the phone. Let's see who it is at 9:30 in the morning. Good morning, Long Beach. How are you today? Yes, another stupid piece of shit on the phone calling me, wasting my time. Anything else you want to talk about? Goodbye, and then hang up on me. All right, Kyle Lewis. Unbelievable. I don't know. Do you guys get these crank calls every fucking day? Kyle Lewis, first baseman Evan White, who was just recently, something happened to him. Anyway, Evan White. Shed Long, the kid they got from Cincinnati. Justice Sheffield, all right, looks to be an opening day roster spot right there. Outfielders could be Jake Fraley, Brandon Bishop, okay, and then you know with Mitch Haniger being out, and don't forget, beyond the opening day roster comes Jarred Kelenic. That's right, Jarred Kelenic. The Mets gave him up in that trade for Cano and the whole thing. Now, Kelenic won't be an opening day roster person, but they expect to get 50 plate appearances this spring, and we'll see what happens. Now, barring an injury, there are 4 starters projected for the rotation. Marco Gonzalez, who just signed a 4-year contract, he'll lead the group. Lefty Yushi Kikuchi. Justice Sheffield will be in the rotation. They had uneven seasons in 2019. Kendall Graveman, who Mitch you can't draft Kendall Graveman. I could see you drafting Kikuchi and Sheffield for $1. I could see Marco Gonzalez. Okay? But who's going to be the 5th spot? They got, as I said, they have a standing offer for Taijuan Walker. Right? So, wouldn't be surprised. If Walker doesn't take the deal, then Seattle's going to look in that dwindling free agent market. Justin Dunn, Wei and Chen, we'll see. And D. Gordon. Now, Andy, if you haven't,